Got it.
Got it.
Leader. Coffee leader, this is Raven. Talk to me, Johnny. They're all dead, sir. Not Delmore. Delmore made it out. Died in Vietnam, didn't even know it. Matt, I kind of think that the Rambo soundtrack that I just brought in is very indicative of the market. We're going to get to that. But first of all, Matt, let me vent, because I am one pissed off caballero right now because of this. Barstools, in honor of Mother's Day, this weekend, Power Rankings, the sweetest TV moms of all time. Carol Brady, give me a break. If it's sweetest.
Right. June Cleaver wins.
How does Wendy Bird make the top 10 as the sweetest? She's the most horrible person ever casted. It's Cersei Lannister, the sweetest what?
Well, and then the mom from Breaking Bad, Skylar, she went bad. I mean, what was sweet about her? She was mean to start with.
It's brutal. Anyway, Matt, I read this as hottest. All right, let's change it, because sweet and hot, none, and I mean none, sweeter and hotter than this. Man, in my childhood, did I have some dreams about Elizabeth Montgomery?
I mean, plus just the name. The whole name is regal. It's regal.
Elizabeth Montgomery, and she was a mom. She had a little Tabitha, right?
Yeah.
And just no hotter TV mom than Elizabeth Montgomery. They didn't even put her in the top 10. I mean, Barstool, listen, you're fired. Step into my office, because you're fucking fired. Honest to God, how the fuck you don't have Elizabeth Montgomery, sweet or hot, in your top 10? Dave, you fucking have a meeting. Do something. Speaking of Dave's, Matt. First of all, this market, it seems to be lambs to the slaughter. Every rally gets just pummeled. And beautiful little spread here. Matt, tell me about your time on the farm yesterday.
I went out and saw a friend who is basically staying at this spread here in Central Oregon, and they have all kinds of. They have the brand new baby lamb, and the moms that were saying Matt, and I got such a kick out of them. And then they had bring up the other picture. They had the two
goats. I didn't capture
two goats that were probably, those goats, they're close to like 200 pounds, right? And when I got out of my car, they were like moving quickly at me, and I was like, I said, are they going to attack me?
Cloven hooves, beady eyes.
Yes, and they were coming at me, and I'm like, and he's got his little horns, and there's two of them, and then and it was Wesley and Tommy,
the goats.
And they got up on their twos. They kept doing this. They kept getting up on their twos, and wham! And then the one was like, he'd be like, all like, woo! And I kept thinking, this must be the way that they do their mushrooms.
That's how they do drugs. Exactly.
Right. This is their mushrooms.
Right. They bang heads. By the way, the most eaten protein on the planet is goat meat. Goat meat. Right. Yeah.
Do we have a chart on that? Do we have a chart on the?
Nobody's trading goat futures.
How come that isn't? Wait, seriously, as a
if it's the most eaten protein,
I know, but as a former trader in the meat pits,
that's ridiculous.
Like, tell me why there was no goat trading, even
because nobody eats it here. That's why.
Globally, is there a
goat futures? I don't know.
Is there a Dubai exchange
in India? Right, they like goat in India.
Is there trading rupees?
I'm telling you right now, I'm long goats. I'm long so many goats, I don't know what to do. All right, listen. Let's start with the ball busting since it's Friday. Friday is for ball busting, and let me bring it up. This is Dave, our curmudgeon professor, and he says, any of you professional Wall Street rock stars willing to help me understand SBSW, IMPUY, and ANGPY. I am find nothing about but old analysis, hints of problems that aren't that scary, and stupidly low valuations. One of us will thank the other. Email is in my bio. Dave, no need for an email because I tweeted back to you. Matt and I are going to attack this from the I don't give a fuck about the story and your thought that it's ridiculously undervalued, low valuation. Let's look at it from a standard deviation and from a market profile a little bit longer term and forget the story, because stories are what lambs have. You know, lambs have great days on farms, right? And they think every day is going to be like that. Like they're in their mind is like, this is fucking great. They give me water, they give me food. I love these guys. And then all of a sudden, one day, they get their fucking throat slit. So the story doesn't end up great for a lamb on the farm, Matt. Anyway, let's
you want to start with the standard?
Here, let me give a little kudos though right away to what you're going to do, your analysis, and that is this. Stottlemyre, we talk about him all the time here. Stottlemyre on markets, trading with a market profile. Matt is the best market profile analyst I've ever met. But Dave, here, if you want a story, read about markets from a market profile perspective, and then you can be the rock star in your own Wall Street, whatever. All right, here, let's go. This is the weekly in SBSW, and Matt, from our limited knowledge, these are all platinum mining companies.
They're all precious metals mining companies.
Okay.
And to me, we're going to go through this, but I'll just give you a quick overview before we start. All three charts look the same. They all pretty much. So I first would ask you, why do you own one over the other? That would be the question you should be asking yourself. Liquidity should be of concern to you. You should want the name that is most liquid and most traded, so you can get in and out if you need to. And don't trade pet rocks. I don't, and why do you need to own three of them if they all kind of do the same thing? Pick the best of the breed and go with it.
And that would be volume and dividend.
Well, I'll get into a little bit how I would discern this. And again, okay. I've never looked at these three names, so this is a great way for. And again, this is why we do this on Market Vitals. I've never heard of these companies. I don't give a rat's ass about any of them. I have no emotion over them.
Right on.
I'm just going to tell you, what I would do right here. And
all right, here, let me just go through them quick, and I'll throw it over to you. And I said this yesterday on the Benzinga interview, and I said it on our show yesterday. If you love the name, at least let it prove to you that the absence of weakness has happened, and that would be a close out of lower momentum, which obviously this week is a big down, and falling away potential on the collar, standard deviation fully rolling over. This one, same thing. And this one, as you said, they all look the same, completely in lower momentum on the weekly, falling away potentials. Look at the COVID lows on all of these things. They got absolutely cremated. Anyway, there is not absence of weakness right now in this chart. There's just weakness. So you love the story, at least wait for the absence of weakness from a standard deviation modeling. Let's go to the
and if you've owned them for a while, you should have already taken profits, but it's still not too late to take profits. Let me start with my quick analysis here on these, Bob. SBSW, which is what is this? Stillwater, Sibanye Stillwater. Again, I've never even heard of this. Doing business as Sibanye Stillwater. I don't know where they're based out of. I'm sure it's probably not even the U.S. It's probably Vancouver or something weird like that. I haven't looked that far, so I don't care though. I don't care. It doesn't matter. That's the point to make here. Now, what is interesting is this name is worth $8.7 billion today. And Bob, we have had we've had an $8 or that is $8 on is a 40% sell-off. We've had a 40% sell-off since the first of the year, which is accelerating. It's more than the 25% that we are now at in the NASDAQ. So you should be concerned. That should tell you that this is a super risky name. It's more risky even than the NASDAQ, and you should be gone. You should be gone. You should not be buying this. You should be short, matter of fact. You should have been short the second time when it double topped, and you should have been short here, here, here. Today, we're just flushing out. You should be taking some off as we approach this top of this zone. It'll probably hold here maybe one time, maybe here at $10. But once it gets into this value zone, Bob, it's going to go back to test the COVID low. It's the same story. Like, I get so tired of saying it. Now, the one thing I will say about this name is it pays a fat dividend. And I don't know the historical, how long.
I mean, just let's think about that for.
No, just saying, like, I don't know if they've always paid a dividend.
Right.
I don't know this, but right now they happen to be paying a yield of 8.22%. So you can take some heat, right? The stock goes down 8%. You're going to get paid. You're going to get 8% more, on the dividend. And as the stock goes down in the price, dividends should go up, right? That's how it works. But look at this chart. I look at the chart and go, warning, Will Robinson, again, by the way, June Lockhart was a pretty hot mom on Lost in Space. So I'm just going to throw that one out.
Happy Mother's Day, Lost in Space, June Lockhart. Very well. Nicely. I like it when we have synergy in the cosine of the show. Keep circling. Jen Psaki, let's circle back. Let's circle back.
By the way, she won't be circling back as of May 13th.
What's her address? Anyway, she doesn't seem concerned that.
She said doxing is fine, so we're going to put her address out.
What's your address, Jen?
Yeah.
All right, Matt. So what you're saying is same thing as I am. At least let it go to that top of the profile. See if it can hold.
See if it can hold $10. If it can't, it's the same story. The range here going back to 2013. So I'm looking at a 10-year range, and we've been here before, and we traded.
That's the other thing. Exactly. I'm looking at that other pullback. Like, it's like we said this yesterday in the Benzinga show. Everything that we're saying is not something that's already happened before.
Right.
Like, you get the eyebrow raise. Like, what? Like, wait a second. It's happened before.
Yeah. So once you get into that $10 zone, you're in that $8 spread of value, right? So this is not, this blow off is all it was. It's a blow off. It's a put on. It's a ruse.
Right on. It's an eminence front.
And it's an eminence front. And you thought you were smart because it was going up with the rest of the market. Everything. Again, all assets are one. I get tired of saying this. And I can say with utter confidence that this thing will trade single digits and most likely will trade down to $5. I would be a buyer at $5, paying probably at that point 11-12% dividend. I would love to buy it.
Right on. And again,
and the COVID low, by the way, was 350. So it went from 350 to 2060, which is a six-bagger. Huge for a mining company. If you didn't take profits, why? And now you're crying because it's a value play? No, it's not a value play. Nothing's a value play when price action is in control. And the long-term chart here is these sellers here are not coming back to buy, by the way.
Well, yeah, they are, but it's going to be $5.
They're going to be buying at $5, and they're going to be acquiring quietly and small and shortly. Now, the other charts, okay, so that's paying a fat dividend. Whenever I see symbols with 5 letters, warning, Will Robinson, warning.
Now, how about this one, Matt?
Now, this is a little bit bigger. It's $10.4 billion market cap, pays a 7% dividend, so it's paying less. Doesn't trade, though. Doesn't trade. It averages 100,000 shares a day. The other one averages 4 million. I'm going to stick with the liquidity so I can get out. That's the way I think as a trader. I need to be liquid, get in, get out size, right? So this one, again, I think is going to trade down to $3. It's just,
it's already,
it's the COVID low and the point of control. This is the most traded price. The most traded price is where we will always, that is where you are in value. So here's what I would say to all you PE guys, all you valuation guys, throw it out the window and tell me where the valuation is on the time frame that you're behaving in trading markets. That's where you want to own the stock. You may have to wait.
Yeah, you might have to wait till December. Who cares? Who gives?
And you may have to short it until then. And you can make money getting paid until you want to get long. And I'm going to switch gears here before we show the third one and just say, if you don't think this can happen to your stock, and it can happen fast, I'm going to start with Spotify because Shopify. We've talked about it for a long time. We traded down to 355. We're off the bottom now. We're still down 5.5%, but we're off the bottom here. This thing fell hard, Bob. I mean, 1763 in November on my birthday, and all the way down here to 355. That's $1,400 gone. You know, and the market cap is still $50 billion at these levels. So this was Bob, this was a $300 billion market cap up here, and it is now a 50. Don't talk to me about valuations, PEs. None of that stuff matters. Point of control is down here at 153. We still are at 390.
We got a full halvening available.
And then I'm gonna before we come back to Dave's final third chart, I'm gonna throw up the Qs to make this point very valid. We have just entered the value area, Bob, which is 320 to 140. That's 180 points. What's 80% of that?
140?
Yep. No, 180.
Oh, 180.
Yep.
Fucking A. 144.
So $144 from the top of this, which is 320, takes you down to 180, which takes you down right to this level right here, Bob, right in the meat of profile.
Right. And again, back to Pete Stottlemyre market profile. If you haven't read it or you don't understand
if you don't think the Qs can trade to 180, you obviously don't remember the 80% sell-off that we saw in 2000 to 2002. We sold off 80%.
You know, and good luck with this market as the Fed unwinds its balance sheet, because I don't think it has a three-tiered mandate. I think it has a dual-pronged mandate, right? Inflation and unemployment, not stock market valuation. I don't think that's part of their mandate. Although, who knows? They better be short this market. That's all I'm telling you.
The biggest name that Dave had on that list is this ANGPY, okay? Another platinum company. $29 billion market cap, heavy capitalized, right? Huge equipment. They're miners. They're pulling shit out. Pays a dividend of less than 6%. So it's the least of all of them. It's the largest market cap, but it's the least traded. I don't get it. Like, again, so it's all held by insiders, and it's the same game. This is the problem with so many of these miners. They're so tightly held by insiders. It's a racket. They take them up, the insiders sell, and then they take them down, and then the insiders reload again. They issue, they execute on their warrants and their options, and that's the game that is played by the miners. I don't know why people don't get it. The only people that make money in the mining business is the insiders.
Right on.
Always have been. So
and
again, all three of these, you get the biggest name, the biggest valuation name, trades the least amount. Warning. So you're the dog being wagged by the tail, because the tail is who controls the money here. It's the insiders. And SBSW for me would be the name I would focus on because of the liquidity of it. It's traded most, and none of them are even close to value for me. They're just getting into value and beginning to fall.
Right on.
And if you don't think, and I've said this is already a theme that I've already said, it doesn't matter. Gold is not going to save you in a downturn right now. Neither will Bitcoin. Neither will platinum. None of these are going to save you. There's no security in metals because the market is falling. So wherever you read that in econ, macro econ 202, it never happens in reality.
All right, listen, Dave, we have a quiz on Monday, and I expect you to be prompt and sharpen your pencils. And what I need you to know, what we're going to ask you is, what's the point of control, right? What are the value ranges? And see if you will start there. We'll start there. All right, Matt. I really don't have anything else on a Friday.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about we've been talking about sports. We got Tampa Bay and game 3 tonight on my 6-game prediction for Tampa Bay down in Tampa Bay. The first game in Tampa Bay starts tonight against Toronto. And then we have tomorrow we have game 3 of Golden State Memphis. What was interesting about that one again, Bob, yesterday is a lot of fines. Gary Payton III got knocked out. He's probably going to be out. He tore some ligaments. He's going to be out for like 3 games. That's going to hurt Golden State for sure. But I think the more interesting story was, the first game, Draymond got, a flagrant and thrown out of the game, right? Second game, he gets punched in the face. No call, bleeding all over the place. The fans are cheering as he's going off into the locker room. He does the double bird, and he gets fined by the commish $25,000. And even though Draymond went to little bro Michigan State, I love him. I love everything about him. He reminds me of Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer, Bad Boys. And I like Golden State because they've always played defense. I got to say,
Well, Steve Kerr brought that Chicago Bull championship methodology of play. And believe me, the Bulls never have that run unless they play the Pistons and have to come over the Pistons. Right. By the way, I'm broadcasting as Elizabeth Montgomery now. I am a hot mom and the sweetest of all. How about it though? The Bulls, and Jordan said it. Jordan said, and we never do what we did unless we climbed that mountain of taking on the bad boys and becoming a tough. In fact, when they lost to them in the it was the conference finals, they were in the weight room the next day. He was anyway. He was like, I'm not going to get my ass kicked again physically. And so Steve Kerr, man, they were by far the best defensive team out of the West ever. And
they learned that from the Pistons. You're right. I mean, it's the whole era that came out of that. And so I would just say that I love Draymond Green. I love the resurgence. It's funny saying resurgence, but I mean, this is basically the old guard and the new guard, right? You get the Memphis Grizzlies, the new fans, the whole, like, the interesting thing about watching a Memphis Grizzlies home game and playoffs, there's kids in the crowd. You wouldn't see that. You won't see that in Golden State because the tickets are $500 a piece. So no, but seriously, like this is like
$500 a piece, and you have to step over human shit on the way to the arena.
Right. So I love the idea that children can, in a smaller market like Memphis are actually at the game, and they keep showing. Like every time I watch the game, I'm like, this is cool. Like because little kids are there. It's not all super wealthy people just. Hotty toddy, you know what I mean? So I'm excited about it. I kind of want both teams to win. I'll be happy either way because I think it's going to be probably a 7-game series, and Memphis is the home team. It's 1-1. So watch for those games coming up because game 3 is Saturday. And, and then we've got the Derby coming up, don't we, next weekend? Or is that?
No, that's this weekend. It's the first
is it always Mother's Day?
Yeah, it's always the first Saturday in May.
Is it?
Don't.
I think it was. I thought it was the second, but I don't know.
Maybe it is the second.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything about it, so I think it's the second.
Hold on. Let's get to the Google machine. Actually, I'm on Swiss cows always now.
You skipped the DuckDuckGo and you.
Well, I was on DuckDuckGo and then they went full woke idiotness.
Right.
So, I quit them. Swiss cows now.
Right.
All Swiss cows. The Derby, Churchill Downs. Tickets, May 7th. It is. Is this the first Saturday in May or was last?
Yeah, that's Saturday. Yes. 6:36, Lee says tomorrow. Eastern, 3:36 on the Best Coast.
Lee, tell me about the curse, the common curse that I first heard it from Italians in New York, New Jersey. May your son be a horse player. Like if you want to curse somebody, you pray that their son is a horse player, a degenerate horse gambler, the worst degenerate gamblers on the planet. May your son be a horse player. Anyway, that's what we got.
Well, we should have picked our ponies based on the names. So we'll have to. I apologize for that to our sports fans out there.
We're going to come back. We're going to do a full segment on the Preakness where it really matters because
once one horse is won.
Once you got it's the first test of a triple crown possibility is the Preakness. So.
All right.
We're gonna hang our hat on the.
Hey Bob, on the big numbers today, this 12.7 is big. We traded under it on the NASDAQ. Spoons, what's your big number there? I think because we traded all the way down to 12.520 or so, and then we whooshed up 400 after that, and we're sitting right smack in the middle. Are we gonna close a Friday below 12.7? Because remember, we're in this big bracket, 12.7, 13.5. We've been in it. We hit it like Wednesday and Thursday. We literally were 800 points up and down. And today we blew through that. And if we close below that, I say 11.9 comes next. It's the next 800 points. Now, as we sit here with 2.5 hours to go on a slow Mother's Day weekend Friday, we are at 12.8. So we're above that 12.7. We have recovered it on the NASDAQ. And I'd love to hear your 2 cents.
Well, again, Matt,
if we get back below 12,700, a Friday close, that's a warning sign. Even if it's 12,675, it doesn't have to be big. We already flushed.
For me, more importantly,
but again, this was orderly selling again off that jobs number. It was totally orderly. There is no fear in this market. I continue to say, none.
Absolutely, and we haven't seen it. And for me, it's all about the slope. Back to the standard deviation lines that I talked about earlier in those mining stocks. We tickled this momentum level the last 2 weeks in a row. 3 weeks ago, we traded down and closed in lower momentum and kicked that slope negative. The last 2 weeks, we've tickled it. We've tried to take that area on. But again, we talk all the time, the close. What have you done for me lately? The close is so important. How are they closing the week? Believe me, as these bands continue to fall away and as they continue to be unable to be less unhealthy, i.e. a close out of this lower momentum, just like on this upside run, Matt, for 13 years, the slope is important, right?
Say that again. How long?
Whatever, 13, 15 years.
I just needed to hear that again.
Yeah. How many people in this game that are trading have witnessed a bear market of more than 3 months?
Well, actually, this is good. Bring. I sent you Charlie Bilio's NASDAQ annual returns. Put that up for us right now, would you?
Right on. Let me.
Because this is exact. You just said it perfectly. We have not had a red year. We have not had a red year since 2008 in the NASDAQ.
There's Charlie. Hold on a second. Let me show you how quick I can do this. I'm actually everything here. Whoops. What the? I'm everything but competent. All right, Matt, you need to just pause with me for a second.
Yes.
Save as 1. Let's save it as 1. All right, now I can do it. Come into the broadcaster, add a source. It's a media file. It's under 1. Look at this technology. Now I can move it. Look how this technology works. It's beautiful. Excellent broadcaster.
Again, this is the 15 years that you just said, and the total returns each year annualized here. Okay. So don't tell me we can't go down. I mean, because we've gone up forever, and it's been fueled by nonstop fake money. The Fed is screwed. We've all known that forever, but now it's starting to show. It's starting to show. Just beginning. I mean, basically, we've erased last year's gains, right? And
not even, but yeah, close to it.
Well, we have. This morning we were below,
right. Okay.
This morning we were below the Biden inauguration day. Okay, so I put, he's red for his administration now, and we're a year, just a little over a year. And can we go down? Heck yeah, we can go down. I mean, look at the years before: 19 up 39%, 20 up 49%. And this is the same thing that is happening in your housing. And I'm hearing it from the same people again there. I don't think we're going to go down. It's different this time. It's the same. Like whenever I hear that, I'm like, oh God, people, it's not different. It's the same, because people are people. They do the same stupid broken stuff over and over again. And that's what we count on as traders. We count on the fact, whether you're using an algorithm to trade or discretion, pure discretion. I don't care if it's an AI algorithm or not. It's still written by a human. There's not a computer.
And for sure. And Matt, the market does 2 things. It trends, great, and then it consolidates and chops. And one algo is not designed to do all of that.
And yeah, and you can't. Yeah, it's an imperfect thing. I don't believe in perfection.
I actually believe in algos. You just have to deploy the right algo at the right time.
Right.
And some are better than others, for sure. My algo is better than your algo. I love that idea because I believe.
Well, it's not that they don't work. I'm just saying they're programs written by humans. That's all I'm saying.
All right, look at those returns and then give it some thought. Thank you so much for watching. Please visit us at marketvitals.io for
And then come back to that QQQ chart and tell me how it's not going to trade back to the 140 level, another 150 down.
Well, let's go to the NASI. The NASI.
No, you can just do it on the Qs. I'd love to see your take on the Qs.
Hold on a second. I got to add that in. I don't even think I got QQ. I got the SQQQ on here. Bing. Same chart, obviously. One's the futures, one's the
yeah. Just more. It seems more people trade the Qs, so I was just going to, and they're in total denial that could ever trade back there. So,
COVID low.
COVID low.
COVID low. What goes up? All right, man. That's what we got. Please share, retweet, plagiarize, and please call us out if you think we are batshit crazy. And we'd love to have you on and give us the, right now we are firmly in the don't money camp. With money, against money. Like you can't have a craps game without with money and against money. You need both sides. And that's why there's markets. For a buyer, there's got to be a seller. So keep that in mind. Anything else?
That's it, my friend. That's it.
All right, Matt. Have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the fathers that are mothers also, because there's a bunch of them out there too. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are fantastic moms. Oh my God. I had a fantastic mom. I know you did too. Miss the mom. All right, Matt. Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to all those great moms. And you deserve all the kudos because it's a thankless job most of the time. So unconditional love is the ultimate love.
Right on. Thank you, Matt.
All right.